Hello everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of Weird Disney Cars Diecast Errors and Inconsistencies, where I take a look at Weird Disney Cars Diecast Errors and Inconsistencies, hence the name. Yeah. But this time, I'm not alone, as I'm joined by the great Disney Cars Enthusiast, formerly Beatles great friend of mine, and he and I are both going to be discussing 5 errors and inconsistencies each. Take it away, Disney Cars Enthusiast.
Hey guys, I'm Disney Cars Enthusiast. I make reviews on almost all things that are part of the Disney Cars toy line, and today me and T-Toy Reviews Ty are going to be diving into 10 weird errors and inconsistencies. Let's get right into it.
Starting off here, let's discuss an inconsistency within the Disney Cars Star Wars crossover toy line, which was exclusive to the Disney parks and ran from 2013 to 2015. Whereas most of the characters are pretty faithful adaptations of their Star Wars counterparts, there was one choice they made for one of the Lightning McQueen variants that I never really got. On the Lightning McQueen as Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker diecast, for some strange reason, they put the Rebel Alliance logo on the hood of the car. The Rebel logo is nowhere to be found on Luke's actual Jedi Knight outfit in Return of the Jedi, which this car is based off of, and I never got why they included it here. Maybe they just didn't want the hood to be blank. But while Luke's wearing that outfit, his shirt iconically sort of unbuttons and there's this like white flap that pokes out. If they wanted to put something on the hood, they easily could have gone with that white flap instead, similar to how they put a jacket design on the hood for Ramon as Han Solo. And yes, for those of you who are unaware, Ramon is Han Solo.
I'm Solo, I'm Han Solo, I'm Han Solo, I'm Han Solo, Solo.
I am so low. Sorry for that. Disney Cars Enthusiast, take it away with your first entry.
Back in 2015, a new McQueen variant was released, Road Repair Lightning McQueen. While this was basically a tar McQueen with a new expression and very small dirt detailing, this is technically a new variant. Now take a look at the artwork. There is no tar detail and a lot more dirt than should be on Road Repair McQueen. This artwork may look a bit familiar to many collectors because this isn't the first time we've seen it. This is the same as Dirt Track McQueen. I guess I see why they used this art, but they could have at least added the tar on his bolt or lightened the amount of dirt. Not really an error that matters, but it is kind of lazy on Mattel's part, especially since Dirt Track McQueen's art is already just an edit of normal McQueen.
Up next, let's talk about Big Al.
Lizzie, Big Al left like 15 years ago.
No, not that Big Al. The other Big Al in the Cars series. Why are there 2 Cars characters named Big Al? I'm sorry, I'm getting off track here. But anyway, Albert Hinkie, aka Big Al, is this giant Lightning McQueen fan. He kind of looks like a hot dog. And he appears in the first Cars movie with a giant banner on his side that says McQueen's biggest fan. In 2015, exclusive to the D23 Expo, a diecast version of Albert was released, but his banner was changed to say Lightning McQueen's biggest fan, I guess to avoid any issues of getting him confused with any other McQueen. A few years later, Cars 3 came out and Big Al had a cameo in the movie. But when he appeared, his banner was actually changed, now saying Lightning McQueen's biggest fan, like the diecast, instead of McQueen's biggest fan, like he did in the first movie. Now that actually wasn't the only change done to him here. The formatting of the words is different, like the way they're stacked on top of each other is pretty different than they were in the first movie and on the diecast, so Big Al in Cars 3 isn't like 100% a match to the diecast or the Cars 1 counterpart. But I just think this is a really interesting case. I'm not sure why this was done. I'm not sure if it was done to better match the diecast, because again, like I said, it doesn't exactly match the diecast. But I think it could very well have been done to avoid any future conflicts with merchandise of Big Al. Just have him say Lightning McQueen instead of just McQueen here. That way it makes it easier and they don't have to make him inaccurate whenever they make more merchandise of him. Then again, I don't think there's been a single piece of Big Al merchandise since Cars 3 came out, which is a shame because, I'd love to have that guy on a t-shirt.
In 2007, the Speedway 6 multi-pack was released. It included Ferrari F430, the King, Chick Hicks, Nitroid, Dynaco McQueen, and RPM. Now, all of the multi-packs released this year had some sort of theme. There was the Cruise Night 6-pack, which was based on the cruising scene, Meet It Flows for the Townies, Dynaco 400 8-pack with the Piston Cup racers. This pack has a theme, but it doesn't really follow it. The King, Chip, Nitrate, and RPM are all great picks, especially RPM since he isn't in any other multi-packs. Ferrari F430 and Dynaco McQueen make no sense. Dynaco McQueen is from Lightning having a daydream, hence the name of the 2016 series, Dynaco Daydream. Ferrari F430 doesn't appear at the Piston Cup, but at Luigi's tire shop at the end of the movie. It's not like there weren't other Piston Cup racers that could have been released. Leakless and Dale Jr. were also released that year. Heck, even Darrell Cartrip would have made more sense, since he actually appeared there. Overall, a pretty big mess that could have been easily avoided.
When a Piston Cup Pity is packed as a single, they include some accessories to kind of make it more worth you buying just them alone as a single. They usually include a tire stack and a tool cart. However, when a Pity is put in a 2-pack with another car, usually either a racer or a crew chief, they don't include the tire stack and only include the tool cart. There's actually an exception to this rule, as Laura Spinwell, released in 2020, didn't include either.
In 2011, Mater, Sarge, Fillmore, Luigi, and Guido were given new race team variants with little 95 badges. With the new releases, they all got new artworks, except the new arts were not even accurate because they don't have the 95 detail. It doesn't really make much sense that they would go out of their way to make new artwork for them just to be inaccurate. This never was fixed, possibly due to the very few releases these have actually gotten.
In 2021, Mattel finally decided to do something to break the monotony of always releasing the same exact Cars 3 McQueen every year. They decided to pack him in with the Piston Cup. I thought this was actually a pretty clever move. It makes it a bit more of an interesting release, even though, honestly, a bunch of cars have come with that same Piston Cup accessory in the last few years, so it's not as interesting anymore, but it's still a nice change of pace. Even though this was just the same old Cars 3 McQueen, the fact that he included a Piston Cup now made Mattel label him as a new for 2021 release. However, this isn't the case, as the same exact Cars 3 McQueen was packed with a Piston Cup accessory back in 2017 as part of, I believe, a Toys R Us promotion. So it seems that they forgot that they previously packed this same McQueen with this same Piston Cup accessory, and they decided to label it as a new release.
For this next error, we need to look back to the first years of the Diecast line. DJ was released with inaccurate blue stripes from 2006 to 2009. Then, his 2009 lenticular variant corrected the blue stripes. The fixed-eye DJ was fixed in a 2010 multi-pack. Mattel finally got it right. Except they didn't. After 2010, regular DJ didn't get released again until 2015, where he, again, had the blue stripes. Mattel did catch this, though, and when DJ got released again later in the year with the Daredevil Garage app logo, he got the fixed green stripes. Every release after this has had the green stripes, though it is odd to see that Mattel fixed it and went right back to the inaccurate one. This probably won't happen again since Thailand has taken over the line, but who knows.
In the last episode, I discussed how 2-packs used to be called movie moments, and how these 2-packs would use an image of two Cars characters together for the artwork on the packaging. They take a screenshot of them together in the movie. But I found one example of a time in which they actually edited another car into the image for the 2-pack. That being Doc and Tumbleweed McQueen, where Doc was edited into the image. I go in depth on it in the previous episode. But while I was editing that episode, I actually found another time where it happened, and a bunch of you guys pointed this out to me in the comments as well. The Flick and PT Flea 2-pack, based off of the A Bug's Life sequence from the credits of the first Cars movie, actually edited PT Flea into this shot of Flick from the movie that he's not in the actual movie. In the actual movie, Flick is all by himself in that shot, and then it cuts to PT Flea jumping around with the circus cars, but in order to make the whole movie moments thing work, they edited a tiny PT Flea onto the artwork.
Finally, I'm going to be discussing an error that I find to be quite intriguing. In 2020, an expanded universe line of rocket racers was released, all with edited artworks to have the rocket racing detail. Lightning, Jackson, and Cruz are all edits of pre-existing artworks of these characters. Once you get to the other next gens, however, it gets a bit strange. Based on the XRS mud racing version of Steve LePage, we can assume that this is based on his actual artwork. Barry DePedal is also based on his actual artwork. This rounds off Wave 1 of the Rocket Racers. Wave 2 consists of Paul Connery and Cam Spinner. Paul is based on his actual artwork from the singles. Cam, however, is an edit of the edited Barry DePedal. If you look at Cam and his Rocket Racer side by side, you can tell that they are slightly different. And if you put the Rocket Racer next to Barry DePedal's Rocket Racer, you can tell that this is definitely an edit of that. Wave 3 gets worse. None of the cars are based on their artworks. Eric Praker is clearly Paul Connery. Ed Trunken is also a blatant edit of Steve LePage. George Newman and Michael Roeder are both edits of Barry DePedal. It just blows my mind that only 3 of these next gens have art that is actually based on their normal digital artwork.
And there you have it, guys. 10 more Disney Cars Diecast errors and inconsistencies. A huge, huge thank you to Disney Cars Enthusiast for joining me for this today. Definitely make sure to check out his channel. A link to it will be in the description of this video. He does some great stuff over there. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and if you have any other specific errors or inconsistencies you'd like me to talk about in a future episode, definitely leave them in the comments, and maybe I'll feature them in the future. I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.